Hello and welcome to Homesearch. I'm Becky Want, and this week we have an in-depth look at a major new transformation that's happening in this area of Lower Broughton. Let's see what's coming up on the show. We have the latest amazing information on what countryside properties are planning to do in the area. On top of that, Cyan Astley is off to have a nose round Bohm, the stylish furniture store in Salford, and we're going to be finding out what the locals think of the regeneration plans that are going to revolutionise their neighbourhood. So first of all, let's familiarise ourselves with Manchester's closest city, Salford, and specifically our area of interest, Lower Broughton. Based on the River Irwell and surrounded by green space, Lower Broughton holds a lot of the history of Salford, traditionally being a strongly residential area serving the local industries. It's within a short walk from Manchester Centre and has great transport links. It holds the key to the perfect balance between city and urban living and is one of the largest regeneration projects in the UK. Salford as a whole is undergoing a facelift with an exciting cultural and economic future. In fact, Salford's proximity to Manchester city centre makes it an integral part of the economic and cultural revolution that's driving England's northwest forward. There's loads to do in Salford, whatever the time of year. The Quays is Salford's unique waterfront destination, situated just 15 minutes by tram from Manchester city centre, and an ideal destination for a day out or indeed a weekend break. There's a wealth of world-class entertainment, leisure and cultural facilities on offer, including the Lowry, Manchester United Museum and Tour, the Imperial War Museum North and the Lowry Outlet Mall. At Salford Water Sports Centre you can also try your hand at rowing, sailing, canoeing or windsurfing. The leafy area of Worsley with its tranquil waterways and footpaths is a particular property favourite. Salford itself also has a huge range of parks and waterways, making it one of the greenest districts around the heart of Manchester. Salford also has a city council which actively encourages the new Salford, forges links with industry and supports events from ballet to archaeology. Salford's looking to its future, investing in its university, schools and younger generations, and attracting external investment for a huge variety of projects, creating a Salford worthy of the title of city. Well, as we've seen, Lower Broughton is being hugely regenerated now, but years ago it was a very wealthy and a highly sought after area to live, as Jill Burdett found out.
We're here at the Local History Library in Salford to find out more about Lower Broughton, which is currently said to have the sad distinction of being one of the most deprived areas in the country. Not surprisingly, those that could have moved out have done. And from a high of 12,500 in the 1950s, only about 2,500 people live here at the moment. It's not always been like that. In the 19th century, much of the area was owned by the Clews family, who prevented any mass industrial development, preferring instead to see grand villas built overlooking the arable land. Two of these still remain, across the road from Albert Park. But inevitably, by the late 1800s, ranks of terraces were being built to accommodate workers for the nearby mills of Greengate and across the river in Manchester.
Oh, I've lived in Lower Broughton for almost 70 years, the other side of the park, and along Lower Broughton Road. This in front here was Broughton Lane, what they call Broughton Lane, and that was full of shops and small works and a garage, doctor's surgery was on there, boot and shoe repairers, off licences, fish and chip shops, and then at the bottom of Broughton Lane there was a cinema called the Tower. From Broughton Bridge up to about Sussex Street was nothing else but shops of either side. Hundreds and hundreds of little streets and terraced houses, and no trees or anything. The Blackfriars Road area, well, that was just a big garage at one time and little side streets and that, what they call 2 up, 2 down houses. No baths, no hot water.
But this largely residential area was built in a floodplain, and 1946 saw one of the worst incidents. It prompted the construction, 30 years later, of the engineering feat known as the Anaconda Cut. This engineering feat cut out one of the loops of the River Irwell, increasing the river's flow. The Victorian terraces lasted 100 years, building up a strong sense of community and pride among the people who lived there. Look on any website now, and people talking about the area describe themselves proudly as Salford born and bred.
If you're going down Grecian Street, the side nearest Albert Park was the elementary school, and the other side was the central school. And when I was 11, I passed a scholarship to go to Central School, but I wasn't there very long 1 year or two because the war started. Bottom of the street where I lived, there was a row of shops and there was a boot and shoe repairer there. And I used to go about 5:30 or so after I'd had my tea into the boot and shoe repairers and buff on the buffing machine all his shoes after he'd put the beeswax on and polished them on, and then he'd put them in a paper bag, and if there was any that needed delivering local, I'd take them for him. And you got a few, maybe threepence or sixpence for doing that, or a penny off the people who you took the shoes to, but that was how you made your money.
The 1970s saw mass destruction of this now decaying stock and the construction of large housing estates. It sadly also saw the end of much of the community's spirit and marked the start of the area's decline.
It did go into decline, and a lot of the property, see, was private landlords. And the less I say about private landlords, the better. They wouldn't do repairs, you see. They had no respect for the people in the property. They were just interested in collecting rents.
Since then, residents have become disillusioned with the sporadic attempts of various developers to rejuvenate pockets of the area. After a long consultation process with the local community, plans for the 15-year regeneration of Lower Broughton were finally put into the council late last year. What I found impressive was that the day after they got planning approval, work started, not only on reopening Broughton Lane, but on the compound for the new information centre, which is already up and open. Let's hope they can put the community back into Lower Broughton.
So quite a checkered history there for Lower Broughton, which just goes to show that this redevelopment here couldn't have come at a better time for the area. We're going to get the exact plans on that very soon here on Homesearch, but now let's join Cyan Astley. She's at a very trendy furniture shop which is called Bone, which is just down the road here in Salford.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to this. I've never been to Bone Furniture here in Lower Broughton, so let's go inside and check out what they've got to offer. Well, I'm inside the store now, finding out a little bit more about what they have to offer. Everything really from a contract range for rentals to the highest of the high, most exclusive furniture from all over the world. France, Italy, and this funky little number from Spain. Love the fabric on this one. Now, this funky black and white leather chaise longue isn't to everybody's taste, but that's not the point. The point is to wander around the store and see all the different pieces, all the different textures, some a bit wild and wacky to be honest, some you wouldn't have, but take your inspiration from what's here and then choose what's your individual style. Now, where's that man with my martini? The Bone store has a long tradition in Salford. The first shop was opened in 1947, you can see it behind me, by Mr. Bone, who was a Hungarian entrepreneur. He's the grandfather of the current owner, and they tell me he was such a trader, he actually sold the family's kitchen table. They've sold fine furniture in the Salford area for about 65 years now, and it's always been quite traditional. But about 5 years ago, they made two moves. They made a move up the road to Lower Broughton and also a move into the contemporary furniture market. We're going to have a look at that now. This is the Aspen. This is not a settee. This is a style statement. There's lots more in the store to see. Sofas, dining room tables, chairs, accessories, and they do beds. This is a NASA-approved mattress made of cellular foam, and you know, you sink into it, it's really comfortable. Space-age technology.
Fantastic furniture there. I'll be right down there once I've saved up my pennies. Now, as promised, the exact plans that Countryside Properties have for the new Broughton development scheme, which is due to start later on this year. They've got some very exciting plans, not only for the local residents, but also on how to regenerate the area.
Back in the late 1990s, coming up to 2000, City Council took the view that the Lower Broughton area really needed to be revisited in terms of regeneration. Local services, particularly shops, banks, etc., were also struggling and indeed beginning to close down. We decided to partner up with Countryside Properties. Countryside Properties are a national company. They're working in many of the well-known regeneration areas, and they have a strong belief in establishing sustainable communities.
Our chairman and the leader of the council, amongst many other people, always thought that it should be a better way for Lower Broughton to be rejuvenated, to bring it back to the way it probably was in the past, in the mid-60s and before then. It was a thriving community, lots of industry and lots of people around the place. It was very thriving, but with the decline over the years, we lost housing, we lost employment, we lost people. We lose industry as well as the economy in the area drops into an area that's become desperately in need of rejuvenation. It's right on the border with its sister, Manchester, and it's a major part of Salford. It really does deserve to be rejuvenated and reinvigorated, in today's words, regeneration.
From day one, we hopefully got the community with us. They're going to be an important part of the new development, and I think the first thing we did was establish that steering group, and we took people around other countryside developments in the northwest, but also in our southern region, to give people an idea of sort of the quality we'd like to build.
We began talking to the local community during 2004, and we completed the agreement with Countryside in March 2005.
From day one, we've looked to engage as many local people as we can and local community groups to get their input into what new Lower Broughton's going to look like. They've been here for the last 50 years and we want those people to sort of remain over the next 50 years. And I think we want to build a new community around those people. So my involvement really has been obviously getting the scheme off the ground, but also getting their involvement and feeding that into the design of the first phase.
The plans that are being developed now cater for the new flooding advice from the Environment Agency, and the first phase is definitely being built well out of the flood zone. Later phases will be accounted for by creating other more low-lying areas which will cater for floodwaters should the river flood in the future. At the present time, we are just about to start work on the reconstruction of the all-weather pitch within Albert Park. We've recently refurbished the sports pavilion, and that's being looked after now by a local community group.
People are passionate about where they live, they're passionate about the area, and they want to make sure that we move it forward and it's in the right hands.
What we need to do is to equip the area for the 21st century. The people of Lower Broughton deserve good facilities, good services.
When people walk down the street, they feel safe, they're well lit, well looked after, and it's a long-term vision. We want to come back in 5 years' time and look at phase one and still feel proud of walking around what we've developed, but also that the people living there still want to live there and are still happy to live there and happy with what we designed and what we built 5 years ago.
We believe that in Countryside Properties we've got a good partner, and also with Contour Homes we've got another good socially responsible partner, and that all three parties working together with the community, and we do have frequent community meetings. We believe we can make it happen.
And that's the other challenge we've got. We've got to look after the people who live here already and meet all their needs, but also create a product which attracts people who want to live in Lower Broughton, because that's what the area needs. It needs revitalising, and hopefully by bringing new people in will help create and build on what is a strong community already.
It's a wonderful challenge. Very few people in their lifetime in my role get to do this kind of development.
It needs to be one community for the future.
Well, they seem to have everything covered, don't they? Stay tuned though for more on those plans for New Broughton, and also to find out what the local residents think about it all. But first of all, let's find out what it's really like living here in Lower Broughton. Situated on the north bank of the River Irwell, this once deprived inner city area is attracting lots of investment and is seen as the next place right for commuters to live due to its proximity to Manchester city centre. In fact, prices in Salford compare favourably to those just across the river in Manchester. There are some good schools nearby within the Salford borough, crime levels have now reduced and the unemployment rate has decreased hugely in recent years. The Broughton area of Salford offers good local parks, a pool and gym, and is within easy reach of some great local shops where you can buy everything you could possibly want, from cars to clothes. The £120 million development Broughton Green has begun the regeneration of the area, setting a high standard nationally, establishing a sustainable new community with a wide range of mixed tenure homes, intertwined with comprehensive community facilities and services. The design ethos places greater importance on people and the creation of communities. Integral to developments in the area is the enhancement of the local shopping, sports and recreational facilities. So this really is the place to be for the future. So great news as far as investment's concerned, both for Salford and for Manchester. And one of the great community initiatives being taken is by local sports team Salford Res.
The community department here at the Willows has linked up with Countryside Property and Contour Housing to start a 2-year community project in the area. The idea is to establish sports facilities within the Broughton area, based around the sport of rugby league. Countryside Properties and Contour have put together a generous sponsorship package for the scheme, and we're actually looking to match this money with government funding National Sports Foundation. And the idea is to create an open age rugby league team to be based on the site of Countryside Properties' new building. What we're looking to do long term is establish the team and then use our existing community development coaches to go into local schools, local primary schools, the high school, colleges, universities, accredit local people, so we build up a bit of a volunteer coaching bank, and then we'll be able to take a step back in a couple of years, and hopefully the idea is we'll be putting a little bit back into the community, and there'll be a long-term sports club for the people of Broughton.
Tell me about the educational aspects of the scheme.
And we have actually got a link with Pendleton College, the Reds have got a link with Pendleton College. So what we're looking to do is take local adults, really, so it's over 18s, and then put them through a rugby league coaching qualification. The idea would then be that these people, it's a nice addition to the CV, and they can then go out into the community and do some rugby league coaching for us.
So are you excited about this partnership with Countryside Properties?
It's a fantastic opportunity, yeah. As a sports club, we're actually always looking to get involved with large organisations, and Countryside are obviously a large presence in the city. It's an excellent opportunity for kudos on our part, and the project itself should be lead to a lot of positive for both people.
So this is quite an exciting partnership then, by the sound of it, between you and Countryside Properties.
Absolutely, yes. We're at the club here at the Reds. We're actually very excited about what we're going to be doing for the next couple of years. Once we got our heads together ourselves and Countryside Properties, the reason behind this actual project itself, the community project and the creation of this new team, came from the fact that a now defunct club, Broughton Rangers, was a highly successful club in the area. It won a couple of Challenge Cups, and it was a very, very well-known rugby league club. But the idea is now to resurrect this old club and give it back to the people of Broughton, with them playing it, coaching it, administrating again, and that's a little bit about the history of the club.
Mark Brocklehurst there from Salford Reds, and as he touched on there, this area has always been famous for its sense of community. But how do you keep that spirit alive? Well, Sian went to try and find out.
I'm here with Deborah and Diane in the Countryside Information Centre. Hello.
Hi.
So tell me a little bit about people's reactions to the new Broughton scheme.
Basically, people were reluctant at first, but then when they've seen what we've actually been doing here and what they're going to get, etc., people have been much more happier.
There's been a gradual process of decline in the area over many years, but a number of people have still remained loyal to the Lower Broughton area, haven't they? The people that have moved out, do you think that this will attract them back to the area?
Yeah, we're hoping so, and we've had a lot of people come into the information centre who've lived here many years ago and are very interested in what we're doing here at the moment.
That must be really encouraging.
Yeah, definitely.
For the scheme. So this is the site. Talk me through it.
Yeah, this is our area of outline planning, which covers the whole of this model, if you like. And this section here is what we have detailed planning for. So this is where we're starting the project from.
So this part, what's going on here?
Well, at the moment there are people obviously still living here, and these are the people that are going to be moving over to the blocks that we've started to build already. And this again is all part of the first phase of of our development.
So, I mean, geographically, there's not far to go, but emotionally it must be.
Yeah, we do feel that, obviously people have invested a lot of time and effort into their homes and do feel sort of, that they are going to have to move out. But that's why we've tried to build, a beautiful development for them to move into.
So it's somewhere really attractive for them to move and leaving their houses, but going on to something which hopefully will be better.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
These people have been living here for 20, 30 years, quite a lot of them are elderly, so obviously the concerns are going to be the stresses of moving, where they're going to be moving to, who the neighbours are going to be. Touch wood, at the moment everybody's really happy.
So you could actually find that they're moving into the new development, but you might have you'd have the same neighbours.
We've tried to do that as much as what we can do, yes.
I mean, that's vital, isn't it?
It is.
For especially for the older members of the community.
So it's an absolutely brand new development, fully fitted kitchens. It's a very vibrant community that we're going to develop down here. Very modern housing and a very close-knit, family, secure community.
Interesting stuff there, but now let's find out what the local residents make of all this.
The houses that we're in now, we don't have central heating in them. So you go into a different environment, cleaner, eating straight through your houses that you've got. So it is going to be a lot better for us.
When I saw the plans, and I've been to many, many meetings, it just seemed to fall into place that Countryside and Contour were going to make this area of Broughton into a really very nice area for people to live in.
Like tomorrow we'll go and choose the colour of the kitchen and the bathroom and what sort of cupboards we want, and so that's a good thing really.
They may put a little doctor's surgery on it, they may put a little temporary police station. So there's nothing like that round here, not a thing.
Your rent will be a bit higher, but it could work out cheaper on your central heating. When they told us they want to regenerate the area, we thought, nah, it won't be happening. And then once you've actually been to the meetings and start listening to what they're doing, then you realise, yeah, they're doing it. And now they've got a model at the information centre, and looking down at the model you think, it could be a nice area.
Well, to tell you the truth, I just can't wait. Like, I suppose you could say like the kid waiting for Christmas to come up.
Yeah, we'll go do all the painting, and it's going to be a fresh start for us. So what we said there is fresh start, new life, let's start new again.
Well, this is going to be a fantastic city in about 10 years, this area anyway. It'll match anywhere in Europe, the way the building works.
Well, we've looked at the past, the present, and most importantly, the great future that this area of Lower Broughton has stretching ahead of it. That's it from us here on Homesearch. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.